I didn't actually start learning it though until I was in my 20s. After school, I went to uni. I got a degree.
Hey, what school? Brisbane. Where?
Yeah, I was in a Brisbane private school.
Where?
I don't
Yeah.
want you to judge me too much. I don't know if we should name the school. I was a nudgy boy.
Nudgy. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
nudgy
know.
boy.
Yep.
And and so I finished school, went to uni, did a business degree, and started working in banking. And I was always interested in magic, but never actually learnt any of it. And a friend of mine showed me a couple of tricks. Oh, that's cool. And then, like I am with most things, very, very passionate, and I go all in on things. So if I want to learn something, I want to do something, I want to change my job, whatever, I'll give all my time, all my effort, all my passion, and that will go into that project or that.
Like swimming, say. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I learned a lot of the skills you need to be,
committed.
Exactly. Commitment's the word I was thinking of. Yeah. So, I started, buying things online, and I spent hours and hours every day, learning card tricks and coins and all that sort of stuff. And that's how really I got started. And I'd made that slow progression from, a part-time magician on the weekends or evenings, and while I was managing my full-time job in banking and in lending at one of the big four banks. And I slowly made that progression to being comfortable moving into full-time and following my passion, which became magic. So, yeah, it was about 7 or 8 years ago when I started going full-time.
Does anyone else in the family swim?
Yeah, my old man was a good swimmer.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, he didn't make Olympics or anything.
But it's quite a thing to get your kid involved in something as full-on as doing laps.
Yeah.
The time-consuming and just exactly like it.
Yeah. Well, swimming's a sport where you really need to be an Australian champion or even Olympian isn't good enough to build yourself a full-time career. You need to be world record holder just to be known.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, there's so many. Well, there's people that, I'm not sure if you know. Have you heard of Brenton Rickard? No. Australian swimmer, world Olympic medalist, Commonwealth Game medalist, and he had the world record at some point. He actually was in the same year as me at school. No one knows his name. Yet, if he was in a different sport like golf, he'd be a multi-millionaire and a household name.
And think of the hours he has done. And you, and the pool,
Well, he's done a lot more hours than me, let me tell you that.
And
he just retired, and he's 31.
That's crazy, isn't it?
32.
And you could argue it's like timing. We had the Sydney Olympics in 2000, so mate, you're probably too young for that. Perhaps.
Just too young for that, yeah.
So everyone stopped thinking about the Olympics for a little while, and Commonwealth Games has lost its buzz. Perhaps I don't know. Just through that, like dedicating your life to something. Hey, but I'll bet you, just like you, that sort of training has taught him to be a success in whatever he will. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure he'll move on to
those sort of people,
business or in media or that.
Exactly, they're different people.
They're used to knowing what it takes to be committed to a cause or to
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
I just think there were kids at school. Michelle Mackenzie, her older brother, was a Mackenzie. He was a Commonwealth game. Yeah, quite a famous lad. I can never remember his name, but anyway,
quite famous. Can't remember his name.
Yeah, again,
Yeah.
But so Michelle was she was at the pool every morning, and we all just looked at her in awe, like. You're just doing this mundane thing, up and down, up and down, up and down.
I think I gave away just at the right time. I was 18, and if I'd kept with it, even if I'd been, top few in Australia at an open level, still wouldn't have really. I probably would have looked back and said, "Well, I've sort of wasted the last 10 years." So I'm glad I got out of it at the right, just after school, and sort of moved into business and then do what I do now.
Yeah, because it's well documented. Depression in that sort of stuff too, because nothing's enough. The world record, like you may win the state, you may win the Aussies.
Yeah.
Well, I need this thing. I'm up there now. I'm like, all these new kids are coming up, and when are you ever happy?
Yeah, it's so hard to be a marketable swimmer. It's really like, I guess it goes a bit on looks in that as well. Like Stephanie Rice, she's what's helped her out, not just her swimming success, but also she's so marketable because she's an attractive girl.
Yeah, speaks well.
Exactly, and handles herself well. So, whereas there'd be some other swimmers that maybe have had even more success than her as an actual swimmer, or at least the same, and just aren't well known on that. So,
but now you're into another thing where you get applause every other night.
Yeah,
massive, and it's going to be massive.
Yeah,
you know, so that you'll find yourself 3 days later going, "Oh, I just feel horrible. I need that applause."
It's funny, man. Last night we had a bit of. I was chatting to Chris, business partner, the other naked magician we mentioned earlier, having a little bit of post-show depression. You know, not act. You know,
yeah, but it's a real thing.
Yeah, we just came back from 11 nights down in Adelaide. And it's our fourth time actually performing in Adelaide, and we had some sold out shows there. We're in a 400 seater, and we did 10 or 11 shows down there. And we had a couple of TV spots, Channel 10 and that. And as you get off the stage, and you're on a complete natural high from the buzz of getting naked and getting the applause and all that, and people standing up and applauding at the end of the show. And then you come back to Brisbane, and it's like, just hanging around at home, catching up on Game of Thrones, catching up on The Walking Dead, and so we can't wait to get back on stage.
Yeah, right. Do you have management, or are you still in this cool sort of zone where you're booking your own things?
There's three of us in the business, so there's myself, Chris, and another guy who's very close friends with us called Sam, and Sam takes on the role as producer. Okay. So we're all in it together, cool. And we have different roles in the business. So obviously Chris and I are predominantly the performing side of it, and we also help out with the producing somewhat and a bit of marketing and all that sort of thing. But that's mainly Sam's job. So there's the three of us actually in the business, and we did an Aussie tour last year. We took the show to about 30 cities around Australia. Not just the big ones, obviously, but also some tiny places that you wouldn't even heard of. Merredin, which is in, central Western Australia. Someone went to Kalgoorlie and went to Whyalla and Port Lincoln, all these places. Cairns a couple of times, Townsville, and then of course the big cities as well: Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, and that. And we did it ourselves. It was all our own saved money, and we invested ourselves. We went all in, so to speak, to create the show as it is now.
That's another advantage. You're not a lone magician. I've got a really good mate. He's been on this show, Troy Starr.
Yeah.
And he's been a table magician. What do you call him? Close-up magician?
Yeah, close-up, parlour magician, close-up, or right. Roving magician. Okay. There's a few different types.
Okay, well, 20 years he's been in the restaurants on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, right. And must love it.
Wow.
20 years doing restaurant.
Well, he said it on the show. He said it's just a bit, it's 20 years of it. And he's still young, but it kind of like he's in a funny spot because it's only him. So he finds himself going, it's off to work again. But you guys are like this little cover band. You're in a group. You're feeding off each other, picking each other up. Come on, mate, and new gigs are coming in, but it's not from you. It's from this Sam bloke. Yes. Yeah, oh, my God, really? And this team builds, and it's a great feeling. So that's another advantage from being the sole magician trying to get his deal happening.
Yeah, it's like comparing swimming to footy. It's a solo sport as opposed to a team effort where any success we have two of our the other two, we're best mates. The three of us are really close mates as well as business partners. So we have all the success to share, with the others. So we love that. We love that. So
another obvious question.
Yeah. How big?
Girlfriends.
7 inches. That's on the flop.
Zettel. Girlfriends.
Yes. You say it like
is anyone married in the?
Oh no, we're both single.
Lucky
single,
lucky lads.
We're married to our jobs at the moment. We're married to.
Yeah, we'll keep it that way.
Right.
Enjoy.
Yeah, it's great fun. I don't think.
And then there's miserable Sam over there.
Sam. No, Sam's actually. Sam does have a girlfriend, but he doesn't get on stage. So, and she's actually the nicest girl. She spent a week and a half with us down in Adelaide, and she's just the best.
Okay.
Yeah. No, she's she's so supportive and stuff. She really. She's like a wing. She's like a wing woman for us. Actually.
Okay, good for you.
Not that we need it so much, but
well, I'm a bloke, so I'm asking the obvious ones. Because
you want to know if we get laid after the show. That's what you want to know, isn't it?
It is funny though, because that theatre restaurant, sometimes they'd get like, I don't know, it was like Manpower or something would come in on a quiet weekend and would book out this entire little theatre on the Gold Coast, and we'd serve. So the Manpower dudes would do their show, be all women, of course, and we'd be serving drinks.
Yeah,
and
And you'd be getting the offcuts. Is that what you're saying?
No, but I just thought I didn't at the time. I didn't. not the word take advantage of the situation.
Yeah.
It was such a shock. Like it felt like all these women were like, this is a wild deal. Like these ladies are like feeling like they're in a pack.
Yeah.
Like the guys that do their show and then take off out the back door, and for the next hour we're serving these ladies drinks, and they're all like still drunk and they're dancing, but they're all over us. And I'm like, feeling a bit sort of what's the word? Like pressured. Like, you know, because as a bloke, you don't want to be a sleaze. Like, you know what I mean? Like the minute you do that, especially when there's a pack of ladies, they'll all turn. Yeah, you become. Hang on a minute, we're here for entertainment and good times. Like you're not supposed to play that role, mate.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. So, but it's a real. It's a funny thing when you're working in those environments like you guys are, to see these ladies having this good time where they're really letting themselves go.
They do.
And it's your turn.
You know,
it takes a special bloke to be able to handle that properly.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, and that comes down to also, like, we had to keep that in mind a lot when we were creating the show as well. You know, we didn't want it to be a foul or crass show. And that also is why we sort of build into the nudity. We like to make people laugh. We like to build a rapport with the audience first. We like to show them some amazing magic. The comedy's, you know, nonstop. And then we build into what we can get away with. You know, the last couple of tricks in the show we could never do at the start of the show. They're just too much. They're too full on there. Where we literally fully get naked. We do promise 3 things in the show. We promise to be one of the most amazing magic shows you'll ever see. We promise to be one of the funniest comedy shows you'll ever see. And we do promise the full frontal nudity. But like I said, we do work into it. And we need to make sure that nothing that we performed on stage came across as a crass element. We're still like the good guys, you know. So, that would have been a challenge for you, though. Being the only few guys in the room after the Manpower's just been on. Hey, I envy you.
Yeah, well, at the time I remember going, I'm a bit sort of awkward about this. But now I'm older, looking back, I'm like, I should have just taken
advantage of that situation and just enjoyed it more. Yeah. Well, we are professionals, and you know, there's that question I think you're dying to ask is whether we pick up a lot after the show and stuff. And you know, we're normally so tired after we get off stage, after doing sometimes back-to-back shows and packing up the show and that sort of thing, that we don't normally have time for that, to be honest. But
you're in a mindset, like you're the showman.
Yeah.
To actually to pick up. Well, I'm a different dude.
Yeah, I mean, we play characters on stage, you know. So the person that I'm on stage isn't necessarily, has some similarities, of course, but it's not with the sort of real me when I get off as well, you know. So we're much more relaxed, and you know, I'm not making dick jokes everywhere I go. Whereas on stage, of course, everything has innuendo and that attached to it. So yeah, when we get, and you also want to be professional as well. You know, come across as the guy that's trying to pick up all the ladies after the show. So, we try to avoid that.
We're in a different world now, like with Facebook photos and, so that'd be, Puppetry of the Penis was probably 15 years ago?
They started around 2000, I believe.
Okay, can you believe it? 16 years later. Right, so, there was no Facebook, FaceTime.
No.
Instant
Snapchat,
photos off your phone.
Instagram, Twitter.
So that's something you kind of have to keep an eye on as well. Like, I'll bet that, photos aren't allowed in the theatre.
They're not. No, we have warnings. We have signs up. People still try to take them, and sometimes we catch them on, online with, if they use the hashtag Naked Magicians or the Naked Magicians, we often find that, which is a bit frustrating, but I guess it goes with the territory. All we can do is, warn people and ask them not to. And then, we have people, spotters and that, trying to catch people during the show doing it. But
again, your advantage, there's even, I was thinking about Puppetry of the Penis, how they did a lot of pub shows. They were trying to get people to come along, and but your show is already selling.
Yeah, from the first round, we sold out theatres. I was at 200 something theatre, 200 capacity. Theatre at the Powerhouse, Brisbane Powerhouse in Brisbane, obviously, and we sold out about 10 shows, one day after the other, before we'd even done the show. So it was really great. Thankfully we haven't had to do pub sort of venues or retirement villages or anything like that. We've been very lucky like that. Yeah. We have done a few. I think we did an RSL or something in Rockhampton, which is wild. Simply because there was no other venues that would have us there.